Hello again, I am back. So I moved to the room that is for most of my videos. I am having some issues with some camera angles, things like that. So what I'm going to do is I am going to show you guys step by step how to create a pumpkin terrarium. Pumpkin terrariums are very much on the rage. I've seen a lot of them on Pinterest and things, people trying to make them. Terrariums in themselves are very, very popular, or are becoming popular even right now. So what's interesting is I went to Hobby Lobby because there is a Hobby Lobby near where I live. Now, I did want to give this disclaimer. Hobby Lobby does not sponsor this video. I literally did all this by myself. Went to, Hobby Lobby store, all of that. So Hobby Lobby does not sponsor this video, but they had some great craft items. I don't know if you guys have Michael's near you, Joann's. Again, most of the stuff you can buy from Amazon. It is great to make terrariums, especially with plants nowadays, because it's so nice to have them in your home, especially with COVID, if you can't readily get out to get fresh flowers, or anything like that. So what we're going to start with today is I have here, this is a small terrarium glass. So these are the kinds you want to have your terrarium to have a top on it, similar to this. Now, for this pumpkin terrarium, we are not putting any real pumpkins in here. We are not putting any plants in here. The reason is that I wanted this to be a decorative terrarium and one that you can put up all year round, that you don't have to take apart. Whereas with regular terrariums, you constantly have to take them apart, if you want to put new plants or anything in there. These are so cheap, you guys. Literally, for something so nice like this, you can have this as a candy jar if you want. You can have this as a cookie jar for the kids. So simple and so easy. It is literally only $4 for this whole entire thing. Now, what's nice about these type of terrariums, these circular ones, I'm going to get it real close there. They have this nice flattened bottom. This is what you want. You got the double-sided flat bottom here. So what you're going to do is, if you want, this is completely up to you. You can have it be laying like this, like flat in my hand for the bottom, or you can tilt your terrarium. You can have it either flat or tilted. So definitely look for these. These are very, very inexpensive and they're nice to have. I like to do my terrariums tilted, but with this one, I'm thinking that I might just go, flat like this, because I have another one that is tilted, but again, that is completely up to you. So another thing I did want to mention about the pumpkin terrariums is, if you cannot find something like this, you can use a bottle, a bigger type of bottle if you have that. You can also use a huge jar. I mean, there are so many things in the craft store, you guys. Like, definitely get out there, look at some of that stuff, but this is what you're going to start your terrarium with, okay? So now what else I did was I picked up a few other things. Now, we have some little mini pumpkins. These I just got at Target. You can get these at your craft store. You can even make these, you guys. You do not need to go spend a ton of money right now. You can find fall foliage stuff outside in your backyard if you wanted to. Again, the possibilities are endless. This I literally just got at Target because they were pumpkins that would easily fit in this. So that was all good there. And again, don't feel like you have to spend a ton of money. You do not have to. The other thing I did want to mention, although I'm probably not going to use these for this specific project, is I came across these pumpkins. Now, these pumpkins are part of the floral arrangements at Hobby Lobby. But what is so interesting about this is you can actually take this pumpkin right off. You don't have to keep it on here. And these are great because they look so realistic. So you have a big one, you have two smaller ones, they're more traditional. I thought that these were really smart to use because you can just literally pull them off. You don't have to worry about cutting them, clipping them, anything like that. So definitely look for these. They're in the floral arrangement section, you know, the harvest section there. So those were also good. Now, what you're gonna want for your terrarium is a couple of different things. If you're using live plants, you're going to want some type of sand, or you're going to want some type of moss, anything of that nature, like, and definitely some dirt. You're gonna need some dirt if you're doing a live terrarium. Because we're not doing a live terrarium today, we are going to be strictly using sand. So what I love is I actually bought the huge packs of sand. Now, because we're doing a pumpkin terrarium, I'm gonna be using orange sand to start with for the layering process, and I will explain to you guys how to do that, the layering process for the terrariums. I also did get some black sand because we have the black and the orange, the contrasting colors for Halloween. Again, you guys can use any color sand you want. It can be black, orange, purple, green. If you want to make your pumpkin terrarium a little bit different with the color differences, you can definitely do that, but definitely get yourself some sand. Again, this is a decorative terrarium. This is not a live terrarium. And again, if you guys want me to do a live terrarium video, I can do that as well. But get yourself some sand. To all my star pupils out there. We also have some decorative items, which I love to use any type of tiles, rocks. You guys, the dollar store, seriously, the cheapest thing you're gonna find are these type of mosaic accent rocks, anything like that. So definitely get yourself some of these. These are very great to put down if you're making a vase and putting flowers in them. These are awesome. So definitely get yourself some of these. And then we also have little fun fall accents. I loved these. These are called scatters and fillers, and these are great, you guys. If you put these in your terrariums, it's gonna make them look so cute. It's so inexpensive to buy a big bag of these, and you can use them in many different types of terrariums. So scatters and fillers, they have little leaves in there. I'm sure you guys can see this with the camera. They have some little gold pumpkins in there. Just a very inexpensive thing you can have to craft with. So definitely get yourself some of that. Now, the other disclaimer I'm gonna say too, a lot of people are not into having anything decorative around the tops of their terrariums. Some people are just not into that. That's fine. I myself am, you know, the Leo that I am, I'm always a little extra around here. I got some fall berry garland. This is also great too, you guys, because you can use this for vases. You can use this to wrap around stuff with your house, and it is just so cute. It literally gives your terrarium some type of life. It does something extra for you. So this is just completely awesome, especially with us doing a pumpkin terrarium. This was something I definitely wanted. Okay, here's a couple of other things I did want to point out and mention. You are going to need a spoon for this project. The reason is because we are layering sand, and you can easily pour the sand in there to make everything flat, but you definitely do want a spoon in order to do that. So, you know, definitely go grab a spoon if you have one. The other thing is that you are going to need some type of, like a paintbrush, a small type of paintbrush. The reason is when you get sand or dirt in the terrarium over the items that we're putting in there, oftentimes it can get all over the place. So sometimes you're just gonna want to kind of get rid of those little imperfections. So I have a small terrarium paintbrush right here. It's kind of curved a little bit, so it's easier to get in to the smaller spaces. I have, you guys, my star pupils are gonna laugh. When we don't have something, we make something out of nothing. This actually is a brush for cleaning small jars. And this is great, you guys. If you use this for your terrariums, if you can find one of these, it's awesome because you can just get more dirt, sand, anything like that away from your items. This is a great tool to use too. You know, typical spoon, you're gonna need a spoon. I didn't like match the orange with the orange. It just, you know, that was the spoon color, but so you can use that too. I also did want to show all of you, if you are going to be making a pumpkin terrarium with any type of live plants, get yourself some small pebbles that look like this. These are great for aeration, you guys. And again, if you want me to do another terrarium video, you know, definitely comment down below, subscribe, let me know if that's something you guys are interested in. So we are going to start. So the first thing I'm going to do here is clean up a little bit of this space because we're going to be doing things in an order here. So you're going to leave your spoon right there so you can access it. For right now, we're going to begin with filling the sand and using the stones. Now, mosaic rocks are great too because they're bigger and they cover a little bit more, but it's great to use them because they're just so easy to use. So I am going to start. I personally think with the sand, I'm just getting the rocks open. And again, you guys can see here, these are relatively a good size. And you got the yellow and the orange. Again, I couldn't find any that were black, but again, completely up to you guys. So we're gonna open our terrarium. I have it open. So I'm gonna start with the black sand. The reason why I'm gonna start with the black sand is because it is such a contrasting color to the orange. And I am going to layer it in such a way so that all of you can see what that's gonna look like. So you take some just plain sand and we're gonna open it a little bit. We're gonna take our spoon for this, you guys. Don't try to pour this in here. It's not going to help you to do that, so don't feel the need that you need to do that, okay? So take your spoon, and you can see what I'm doing here, and just kind of shake the ends a little bit to kind of get it off there. And then you're gonna start to layer. But as you're layering down in the bottom here, you're gonna want to spread it out. And the reason for this is because, again, the sand's going to have a type of layering effect. So you don't want all of the sand for our pumpkin terrarium to kind of clump up in this situation. So we're gonna just layer that around. Now, what I also like to do, and this is just me personally, is when you have something like this, I like to take a little shake and you're gonna tap the bottom of this. The reason is because it levels out any air that's in there. And you can clearly see here, and I'm gonna show you, you'll start with a line, but you want the sand to go up to this line so you do get the layering effect. So don't feel like you need to put only a little. You can definitely put a lot into this terrarium. Again, we're using mostly sand because this is a decorative terrarium. We are not using any type of moss, dirt, anything like that. So again, like I said, what's great about this is you see there's a little bit, it's hard with this camera. You can see that there's a little bit on the side there. You take your paintbrush, and it's so simple. You just literally go in here and kind of just do that, and there you go. You got the sand in there. So we're gonna layer this up a few different times. I'm gonna still use a little bit more of my black sand. And again, Star Pupils, don't feel like you need to use any specific color. You can use any color. This is your pumpkin terrarium. You do what you feel you're comfortable with. So we're gonna put the black sand in there. Now, very important, you rest your spoon on the terrarium top just so that you're not getting stuff all over the place. Make sure to cork up your sand afterwards or twist the cap back on it. I have done that so many times, you guys, where literally the sand is flying everywhere because you hit the table, something goes on. It's a pain. So just make sure to cap the sand up. Now, here's the other interesting thing that you can do with this. You can, if you'd like, and this is just something I've done before, you can do a marbling effect with this type of sand. That is completely up to you. The marbling effect, all you would have to do is take the end, and I'll show you this, the end of your paintbrush. Take it and move it in a diagonal way with the sand, and you will get a beautiful marbled effect. So again, what we're basically doing here is we are taking this sand, and I am going to start spreading it. Now, the thing is, you don't want to touch the spoon so much into the sand, because then you're just gonna get stuff all over the place, you know, that type of thing. So you just wanna like layer it up here. And I'm doing this very delicately, And then you just wanna tap it, like I was saying. And what's great is it kind of does it its own self. Like you get this really nice effect for very little cost. And terrariums are great decorative accents in a home, you know, an apartment. I mean, come on, let's be honest, you guys. How many people have time to, you know, because with plants, it's a labor of love. You have to water them. You have to do so much, you know, and some people just want their homes to look good without having all of that effort to actually water plants. Now, I will say this too, for all of my Star Pupils using live plants. Do not, once you basically close your terrarium, you are going to keep it closed if you are using live plants. Again, we are doing a decorative terrarium, so that's not really going to be, you know, either here nor there, because we're just doing a decorative one. But again, if you are using the live plants, once you basically cork up, I keep saying cork up, you guys. I don't know what's up with me. When you put the twist cap back on, y'all know what I'm saying. So when you put the twist cap back on, basically you're going to want to keep it closed, aka with live plants only. Do not reopen it, because the minute that you allow oxygen into a live terrarium is when you can have like little pestilent bugs. You can have air oxygen could kill your plants. So just keep that in mind. Again, this is up to you completely, but just don't open it once you pretty much close it up. So again, I'm still, you know, over here with my layering. Now, the thing is, you guys, I am choosing to use mostly sand. A lot of times you can get, you know, some very good looking terrariums. And again, you can see this right here. We got some layering action going on right here. This kind of looks like a little bit of like a tiger stripe situation. And over here, I mean, again, because you're mostly going to be seeing it from the front, you get all this layering. Ooh, that's kind of nice. Look at that, you guys. So you get all this layering effect for very little cost with the sand. Now, you could choose to break it up. Again, completely up to you if you choose to break it up between the rocks and the sand. I am not going to do that right now because I don't have enough sand to kind of do that. So let me use my last, because I want to use half of the black sand, because I just want to give that contrast, you guys. Like, I get bored with just having the same type of color all the time. You know, in these type of terrariums, a lot of times it can get a little bit, you know, with the color exchange going on here. So I'm going to use a little bit more in there. And again, we're going to like level this out. So we're going to keep it like this. I love these days, you guys, because you can just sit here, work on your terrarium. You know, great hobby to have, especially right now with everything going on. It's good to take your mind off of stuff too. You know, I tell my Star Pupils all the time, it's good to take your mind off of stuff, work on spirituality, work on a hobby. You know, you make terrariums and you meditate, you really just open yourself up to the creative flow of things. So again, we have our terrarium. I'm going to stop there for right now. If you want to continue layering, please do. Don't feel that you need to stop just because the video is at this point. Again, it is completely up to you. Don't feel like you need to do that. So I have the mosaic stones, yellow and orange. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be very conscientious. of how I'm layering these. The only reason is because if you layer too much in the sand, it's gonna look a little strange. And because this is a pumpkin terrarium, we kind of want to have those type of contrasting colors because pumpkins are mostly orange. So again, I'm just gonna be very conscientious here with where I'm layering stuff. The kitty wants to get in on the terrarium making business here. You could probably hear him in the video. So what I'm doing is I also want to layer these rocks in such a way that it's making a platform for my pumpkins. Ooh. So you can also do that as well. And I will show you guys in a moment what I'm talking about. Okay. So I have the layering of the rocks kind of in this formation. I'm going to continue to take the stick at the end. These are so great, you guys. They're very inexpensive. And what you're going to do is if you want to move your rocks around, very simple. You just simply move them around according to what you feel comfortable with using. And then when you put them down in there, you know, you can easily move them around. You don't have to feel like they're on top of each other constantly. So we're going to move those around. It's just so awesome. Like, I love terrariums. I just like love them. Okay. So now here's what I'm going to do. I am going to layer this up with some more sand because again, this is primarily a decorative one. So we're just going to go around them with some more sand. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to give it the effect like it's a little bit bumpy. Because it just adds something to it really. So I'm just gonna cover that up with the sand. Okay, so we have and then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take my little other thing here and I'm going to start to dust it away. And the reason why is because I just want to give it that little peak kind of hilly effect for my rocks and everything. And again, the reason too is because I'm making a platform. Because you kind of do need that or else the soil's just going to like literally sink in there. And you kind of want this platform for your pumpkins so that they don't just sink right into the sand either. Okay. And again, you can put rocks in here. You can do whatever you feel like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another round of the rocks. This just makes it so much easier to have them sitting in there without the sand sinking in. So that's why I say layering is a very important process for terrariums. So take your rocks again and you can layer them around however you feel. I mean, again, it's a very nice project to have. If you got nothing to do on the weekday, you know, you want to have some friends over within regulations. You want to have some family over or you just want to do a project by yourself. It's a great way to go ahead and do that. Okay, perfect. So as you guys can see, I'm going to hold this up in a second to show you the layering effect. This is just so great. I love terrariums. I just love it, you guys. Okay, so we have the very much like the layering effect here. And you can see I have all these little stones here. You have the layering effect of just all of the sand. See? So that's what's great about it. So now we have the layering effect. And I'm trying to tip it so you could see the rocks in there too. And again, you can add things outside, pine cones, leaves that you dry out, you know, definitely put them in there, you guys. Don't feel like you're restricted. Okay, so a couple different things I do want to mention. I am probably going to be using, because of the contrast in the colors, I am only going to be using out of my pumpkin pack the black and the orange pumpkins because again, we want the pumpkin contrast, but you don't want like a white pumpkin, you know, in there with these type of sand colors. Now, if you went the other route and you went like the purple, the green, all those colors, you probably could get away with doing that. So here's the other kicker about this. This pumpkin, I'm gonna set that right there because I'm gonna get the other ones out, you guys. That pumpkin is a medium-sized pumpkin, okay? You want your terrarium to be big enough that you can set it in here, but you don't want it to be too small for this type of a pumpkin. So what I'm gonna do, and again, like I said, you know, you could do this traditionally, but these type of pumpkins are also great too, but I have another craft idea that I'm probably going to use with that. So I am going to place this one pumpkin, see if I can get it in there. See, perfect. And this works. Now here's the thing, you guys, I'm putting this in here. I'm not crazy about it because look how big it is, okay? You're not crazy about it? You take it out, you use something else. So we're gonna go with this main pumpkin here, and we're gonna put this over up on the sides. See, this is why, you guys, like you do different stuff. You see what fits, what doesn't, and then you just go from there, you know? And you just, and again, you have like the little pumpkins. And you just see what fits. Now for this, I am not getting crazy about this only because with the way that the stones are and with you feeling like you can't take stuff out, that's also when it starts to get like, you don't want to overfill your terrarium, you guys, with different stuff. So, but you kind of can see that I have like the little pumpkins there, and we'll just like get them together. Now, what you guys could do too is I have the bigger pumpkins, but you can easily do one small one, which is probably what I'm going to end up doing. But just for the sake of time, I can show you. You can do one small pumpkin, one big pumpkin. It is so up to you guys. You can even do these little pumpkins, make this little pumpkin have a jack-o'-lantern face, and put that in there. I mean, the possibilities are endless. I'm just showing you guys this for the sake of just, you know, to show you. But again, it's up to you what you want to do. I am going to take the one pumpkin out because I do not like the smaller pumpkins. There you go, guys, have a pumpkin. I do not like the smaller pumpkins. I like more of one bigger pumpkin. So that would actually be a really cute idea too if you wanted to do this with your kids, if you have kids. So I got a different idea for that one. All right. So I am going to be using, I feel, the smaller pumpkins because they're just like cooler, I guess, you know. But I think I'm going to use the contrast because again, we want some like different colors in here. You know, some different type of like different things in here. So I'm just going to move this one rock, take it out. Set my pumpkins in there. Just want to kind of like set it in there a little bit. Just to kind of see, and this is why sometimes too with the stones, if the stones are too big, you guys can always move them too. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is we have my little black pumpkin in there. Okay. And it's so cute because again, you can interchange out these pumpkins if you want. You know, again, you can use this, you can use, you know, whatever you have. So what I'm going to do is just to give a little bit of a contrasting color, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of the black sand in there as well. And this is where, again, your little tools come in handy to actually move it around. Let's kind of get that off of there. Sand here to get it off of the rocks. Okay. So you're gonna do that. See, and it's sometimes, especially with sand, it's always good to put it, you know, right where you want it, because again, like it is such a pain to remove it once it's down pretty much. Okay, so we're gonna place our little pumpkin in there. Okay, that's perfect. Now, I have my little pumpkin in here with the sand, with all this in here already. You could see like just the little sand around. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do some more contrast. We're going to take some of these little pumpkins, little leaves, things like that, and we're gonna start to fill up around. We're gonna stop using the sand at this point because we don't really need a lot of it. So let me get rid of all of this here, and then we will start to make our terrariums come to life. Again, I think it's so nice to have these because you can use the little decorative accents to kind of make little pops, like just around everything. So it's just, it's awesome. Like I love terrariums. They're just so great. And again, the other thing I did want to put into this is that don't feel like it needs to be perfect either. A lot of times people just get into these crafting projects and they're like, oh, it has to be perfect. It has to be this, you know, and it doesn't have to be. This is what you're doing. You're spending time. You're making, you know, these memories with your family, you know, with yourself. You're taking that time. Now, what's great about the pack here is that it comes with these small little accent stones. These are great just to kind of like put them around, you know, like just put them around inside of the terrarium. And again, it's an inexpensive way to make this look so awesome at the end of it. And these little gold leaves are great too, because they just add that real pop of color to what you're making. And I like to just add the little accents around. Also, I did want to mention about tweezers. If you buy a pair of craft tweezers, you guys are going to use those like you wouldn't believe for terrariums, because all of these little accents that we're putting in there, we want to move them around so that it looks somewhat of a semblance of, okay, there's not just all this stuff around in here, but these little accents that you can really start to look at to make your terrarium just come alive. Like this is what you want, you know? So it's like, or you can just be like that person and just be like, okay, let me just throw the little stuff around and then take the tweezers and fix it later. So I'm gonna show you guys that too. I want to say we need some more pumpkins around. Because again, you guys, this is very much about layering, and you want the layers to kind of come out a little bit better. You don't just want like stuff all over the place, really, because then it's just going to look like there's stuff all over the place. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my small thing here, my paintbrush, and I'm gonna start to kind of push things around to where I want them to be, because again, you have to understand this bigger pumpkin in the middle is your anchor. So you're going to start to move all of these accents around. And if you start to feel like, oh, I want to see more leaves over here, or, oh, this pumpkin doesn't look really that great over here, you can take this and then start to move things to kind of make that accent flow a little bit better. If you feel like there's not enough pumpkins, if there's not enough leaves. See, now I personally feel like we don't have enough leaves. So what I'm going to do, and again, this is why it's so important to move stuff around, figure what you like, because at the end of the day, this is your terrarium. You want it to look a certain way. I just love spending time with you guys too. Like every time I make these videos, I'm like, you know, I just love My Star Pupils. Like I get the nicest comments from all of you. You know, visit me on my Instagram, you guys. I just get like the nicest feedback from everyone. You know, spread a little kindness. It goes a long way. And this is a great thing too. I did want to mention, you know, terrariums make great gifts, you guys. If you know somebody who's been down, feeling a little bit bad, you know, they just, you know, make a terrarium. Give it to a neighbor. Give it to someone who's a friend who needs, you know, just like something cute and to make them, you know, positive. We're all about positive vibes here at the Astro classes. So get yourself some positive vibes, you guys. All right. So what I'm doing is I'm just basically, and I know I wish I had a better camera, you guys, but you know, you got to work with what you got. I'm just basically moving this around to make it be where it's not going to block all of my little pumpkins and everything, but just to get that accent going. You don't want things to be blocked in your terrarium. You just want to like get these little accents in. See, now sometimes you're going to find too, and that's why these fillers are so great, you guys. They are very cheap. You're going to find that some things aren't really filled in all over. Okay? And that's not what you want. You want stuff filled in. This is a terrarium for a reason, because we want stuff filled in. We want these little accents, the little pumpkins around. So, you know, that's why I say you got to make stuff look a little bit good here. Okay. All right. So now, once you find something that you are happy with, in this sense, you also have to kind of see which side do you want to be the front and which do you want to be the back. And you can easily turn your pumpkin as well if you kind of like one side of your pumpkin versus the other. Okay. So I think I am okay with where I'm at with this terrarium. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cork up the top lid. Comment down below if you guys say, you know, cork the lid. Or comment down below if you have another idea for me to say for putting the lid on the top. Like, comment down below. So, this is what it's going to look like. So I decided to use this side for the terrarium. Now here's what I'm not liking, you guys. This little dot right here, right? It's going to drive you nuts if you're a person like myself. So because I did not like that, what I'm going to do is use some of my strength here. This is what is so great about having a small paintbrush, you guys, is you can easily go in there and be moving stuff around to get it covered. There you go. We're going to put some little black sand in there. Perfect. So then I can just easily cover it and I don't need to worry about that spot. Okay. And this is a pretty good size. It's pretty corked up there. You're not going to see, you know, anything. And you could do it from the sides too if you want. But there it is. You got your terrarium. This is a decorative one. Keep in mind you can change this at any time. Terrarium. Now, here's what we're going to do. We are not finished yet. We're just going to give it a little tap to even everything out. Tap the bottom. Okay, so that's good. We are going to take some of this fall garland. Now, this fall garland is great because you can easily cut this. I am going to show you guys how to go about doing that. You will need some type of scissors, craft scissors. You can use anything you pretty much have to cut this with. Now, be a little bit patient, you guys. This stuff does take a while to untangle. So just be patient, work it through like I'm doing so, and just kind of pull it. You know, a lot of crafters don't like to use this, and they say it even on Pinterest too, because it's so hard to get undone. But again, if you're patient, we can easily work with this. And again, the other thing I did want to say about this too is you can wrap this around multiple times. Okay, so wire cutters. We have the wire cutters. So you're going to unwrap this. I want this to go around a couple times for my terrarium. So I'm going to take it at a good length, and you're going to snip the end of it, you guys. So you can see that. You're just going to take your wire cutters and just snip the end of it. And you have this long piece of the beading. Wanted to also say you can use burlap, you can use ribbon, you can use whatever you want. So don't feel, like I said, terrariums are very subjective. You don't have to use what you don't want to use. So what I'm gonna do is, what's making this easy is I'm gonna take the top of my lid. I'm going to wrap it around and kind of get a sense of where it's going to lay. Then I'm going to take this and I'm going to tie, I'm going to tie a little bit around. You see there was a piece of fuzz there. I'm going to tie this a little bit around so that the wire is kind of like closed or clamped in there. And I'm going to set it around my terrarium lid. This makes it so much easier, you guys, to just simply twist. So you don't have to constantly be wrapping all the time while it's moving on you. So I'm going to take this, and again, this is a lot around, you guys, but that is okay. Because you want enough to make sure that it looks kind of bulky up there. So I'm just wrapping this around. Again, you guys can use this with some simple twine here. Any type of string would be great. The other great thing about terrariums too is what is so nice about them is you can, for decorative ones, even for ones that have plants in them, you can simply just kind of get them and then clean them out and then put some new in there. So it's an awesome craft. What's great about this too is as I keep going around, it's going into the ridges. So it's easier for me to like cover up the ugly silver that's there, you know, unless you guys do want to keep that. But for me, it's like, I'm not crazy about it. I'd rather get rid of it, you know, so it looks more decorative. So keep going around as such. Now, when you come to the end, very simple. Now, with twine, you can burlap, you can tie it. With this type of material, I just simply pinch it, you guys. Just pinch it and just look at this. I mean, come on. You're gonna literally buy, let me explain this to all my star pupils out there. Let me get this out of the way because now I'm talking to you. Star pupils, do not buy terrariums unless it's from someone you know who is a business owner. You want to support, you know, small businesses during the whole COVID thing. You want to support, you know, Etsy's a great place too. But don't feel like you need to buy. These are so expensive at times. If you go on Amazon, if you're looking on there, you know, these little decorative accents make things personal. Do not feel like you have to spend $20 for a terrarium. You can make it. I'm telling you. Go out there, get yourself some of this. Look at this. Look. And we made all this together. My star pupils, listen, don't think I haven't thought about making some, you know, astrological terrariums. Okay, comment down below if that's something you want to see. I'm completely down with this, but I love this. This you made inexpensive. You don't need to go anywhere to kind of buy anything with this, you know, very inexpensive quality items that you can put something together like this. You don't need to go out and spend a ton of money to put together this really cute fall terrarium. Little pumpkin terrarium, you guys. Look at that. Look at that. Look. Very inexpensive. This whole thing probably cost me, to be honest with you, at least, if not $15, you know, $12, $15 to make, you guys. What are we saying? Like, you can easily make this. And again, this goes, I'm going to link the other video. This is a 2-part video. So again, I will link it down below for the first part. For all of the pumpkin history facts, the history of jack-o'-lanterns. I mean, you guys can get so creative with this. If you want to paint this whole thing with glass paint and, you know, do a little carved out scene here, you know, of a little graveyard, some pumpkins. I mean, again, the possibilities are endless, you guys. I just love this as a craft to start for fall, but look at how awesome this looks. And I'm sure, you know, definitely go visit my Instagram. Show me some of the pictures of the terrariums that you guys created. I would love to see it. And this is a great craft. Make with your kids. It's a great craft if you're looking for something to do for the fall, the seasonal stuff. So this was a great craft for the pumpkin segment. So I did just want to give all my star pupils a heads up. Next week, I'm going to be doing a witch segment. So it's going to be on the history of witches. It's going to be on, you know, we got some really good things in that video. I also did want to say for all of my star pupils who are hocus pocus lovers out there, definitely stay tuned. I got some good ideas for that video. And again, always remember, you know, keep it starry, keep it classy, keep it astro classy. You know, keep it pumpkin spice lattes, get yourself some pumpkin donuts. It's autumn if you want. Again, very inexpensive for everything you're getting here. And normally online, you would be paying so much for this. Don't do it. Just go out there, get some nice things, make it very fall accent-like. Again, I actually am going to be taking some pictures of this too, so you guys can see it a little bit better. But again, you know, it's so nice to see all my star pupils keep it going with the spirituality. And again, you know, visit my Instagram. I have a Facebook, things of that nature, and I will hopefully see all you again for the next video. All right, bye.